Mr. Carbajal, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Thank you for coming here today, Secretary Duffy. I want to extend my gratitude to you and your team for being responsive on my staff's inquiries, my personal inquiries regarding some grant issues in the Goleta and San Ynez areas of my district. While the grants haven't been released, I just want to say I find it very refreshing of the professionalism and the responsiveness of your staff. So I wanted to give you those kudos. Secretary, while we all support infrastructure, we can do more to bring the cost of these projects down as we draft our next highway bill. I'm familiar with recycled asphalt pavement, RAP, and understand that RAP accounts for over 90 million tons of pavement material. This is the most recycled product in the country, yet many state DOTs lag well below the national average of 20% of their mixes using RAP. I find this odd given RAP brings costs down by using less virgin material, reduces truck traffic, minimizes air emissions, and keeps usable material out of the landfill, while still delivering a superior quality construction material. Can you commit to working with me and our state DOT partners on how we can better educate and incentivize state DOTs to use RAP pavements where appropriate and in their local projects?
100%, I'd welcome that partnership.
Thank you. Mr. Secretary, for decades, the federal government has required commercial service airports to use Florentine firefighting foam containing PFAS. The FAA Reauthorization Act of 2024 included my bill, the PFAS Act, and established a new grant program to support airports in transitioning to fluorine-free alternatives. Assuming we get our act together in Congress through appropriations and appropriate the necessary funds, is there an implementation plan in place to facilitate this transition? And two, in the interim, what guidance and assistance is being provided to airports regarding the transition and use of PFAS-free foams?
So I would tell you that do we have an implementation plan yet? We're actually working on a lot of the grants coming out the door and ATC modernization, but as money comes, we will develop a plan, would welcome consultation with you, the author. But again, this is an important issue to make sure we take toxins out of our communities.
Thank you. As we discuss air traffic modernization, can you share how the department is working with the FAA to ensure these efforts are forward-looking and structured to incorporate continuous process improvements over time, rather than looking into outdated systems? And can we touch on the efforts to ensure the system is sufficiently staffed?
So can I just, if I can have a moment of personal privilege, yes, telecom is telecom, fiber is fiber. There's great radar that we're going to be able to, that we have to build them. It's a big deployment. Those are known quantities and entities. The common automation platform, the software that's going to run air traffic control, we're using one system from 1995 and another from 2000. We don't have an off-the-shelf product. That's the software, the heart of the brand new system. That's going to take us time to get companies to come in and offer us what they think the product should be and try to sell us their product. So we don't have money in the big, beautiful bill for this part of it, but this is the critical part of the infrastructure. I want to get that started because, again, it's going to take us, 6-8 months to pick a company, and then we're going to have to debug it. That could be another 6, 8, 10 months to debug it before it's deployed. So this is the most amount of time it's going to take to get the system right. But it's like you're on your computer, you're using Microsoft 95 versus what's available today. It's like there's so much better technology, and this is the heart of making the system more efficient and safer. And I hope that the Congress will give us the resources to begin that process.
Thank you, Secretary.
I represent 60 primarily rural counties throughout central and western Kansas. And every day in the big first district of Kansas, my constituents witness the importance of having reliable transportation infrastructure. It's imperative that our highways and roads are drivable, that commercial and cargo aviation are able to efficiently operate, that our railroads are able to deliver goods and grain out of the elevator and into markets. And I appreciate hearing from you today on ways that we can address real transportation infrastructure problems that everyday citizens in Kansas and around the country are facing. I know that the administration under your and President Trump's leadership will lead the way in fixing problems of the past, and look forward to working with you on making the transportation system great again. A couple of quick questions. We've seen how past modernization efforts like NextGen struggled with delays and cost overruns. I understand you're taking a different approach this time, particularly when it comes to procurement and delivery. Can you walk us through what's changed and what Congress should be considering when it comes to accountability and future funding to support that approach while also ensuring continued access for business aviation and smooth integration for new entrants?
Yeah, I think that's critical. So just a couple quick points. Number one, we're actually using our unique authority for procurement. That's not been used in the past. We are getting CEO engagement with us. I think America cares about the bill. The president cares. I care. CEOs want to be part of. This is the greatest infrastructure project in decades, and it has a lot of attention. So CEOs are partnering with us. I think on the accountability front, you've given us a lot of put a lot of faith in us. And maybe that faith isn't warranted. I think continual conversations, whether it's testimony or private meetings, letting you honestly know, are we on time and on budget? Are we delayed? Why are we delayed? Are we beating? That kind of cooperation between the DOT, the FAA, and this body is critically important.
I agree, and candor is welcomed
100%.
very, very much. Second, last question. You know, Kansas is home to the air capital of the world, where aviation and aerospace manufacturing generates more than $20.5 billion in total economic activity and rely on the FAA to have a strong presence abroad. Secretary Duffy, how are you protecting the U.S. aviation export market?
Well, I think just free markets, free trade. America's great. This is one industry. I think we net export $78, $80 billion to the benefit of the U.S.
Right.
And again, with continued innovation, which we're going to have some announcements coming on, not just on the Boeing side, but on the civil aviation side. Some great strides are going to be made to make sure we continue to lead the world.
Great. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I yield back my 2 seconds.
Earlier this summer, you announced a essential initiative at DOT to modernize our air traffic system. We support that effort. We want to work closely with you. We know it's going to have a very high price tag and will need bipartisan support. This committee is a bipartisan working committee. You know that. You saw it through our work on the bipartisan infrastructure law and the bipartisan FAA reauthorization. We're going to need specifics on the plan. Do you have a better sense at this point how much your plan will cost, and how will you determine priorities, since you will not be able to get everything you want? Hopefully you'll get most of what is needed for the system.
Yes, thank you for that question, and I appreciate the bipartisanship on this effort. It's an American issue, not a partisan issue. And so if we look, teleco is what we have, right? So this is fiber. We have money for radios, voice switches. We have money for radar, surface movement radar at our airports. What I want to do is, with an integrator, this is going to be one company that's going to manage the project. There's been some confusion around that, but the integrator, I think, is important because the FAA is not qualified, doesn't have the expertise to manage this kind of a project. So we need a project manager to come in and manage. And I think we should be able to do radar at the same time as we're doing telecom. And we should be ordering radios and voice switches at the same time. When you give us the money for the Common Automation Platform, we want to start that process as well. I think we can keep all the streams going at the same time. The key is we're going to deploy these assets when we still have airplanes in the sky. And doing that safely is the #1 priority.
Yeah.
That's what we have to do. And so we got to choreograph, and we have to implement correctly. But to answer your question, I want to do everything.
Yeah. We look forward to having you back here regularly to give us updates, particularly on the issue of cost, so we can plan accordingly. I represent Arizona. Extreme heat is a tremendous issue in my state. Last week, we hit a high temperature of 118 degrees. That's right about the maximum operating temperature for passenger planes. Last year, we had 113 consecutive days above 100. This has huge impacts on our airport and the aviation system. Extreme heat can soften and crack taxiways, making it harder for planes to take off. It reduces air density, affecting lift and engine thrust, and it has an impact on people who work at the airport. We have seen overheating of both equipment and personnel. These are essential workers who make air travel possible. How are you investing in heat resiliency of critical FAA facilities and equipment? And how do you plan to ensure that the ATC technology that we've talked about under your modernization plan can operate safely in adverse weather conditions like extreme heat in Arizona?
I will take a look at that, and we can maybe have an additional conversation. I have also talked to your governor about the needs for different facilities within the great state of Arizona.
Thank you.
Only 5 seconds over.
First, I want to thank you for your recent visit to Utah, riding the FrontRunner commuter rail. Your engagement on the ground sent a clear message to Utah that we're being recognized for our highest levels. I have 1 or 2 questions, and I have a big ask at the very end. As you know, with your visit, Utah's FrontRunner commuter rail system is the backbone of Utah's transit system. The Utah Department of Education of Transportation is seeking to double track key segments of the FrontRunner, increase predictability, reliability, and to double the current ridership of the system. Can we continue to count on this administration's support for funding through the Capital Investment Grant Program?
Yeah, so I actually had to ride the rail when I was there, and it's obviously very well used. And I would, let me do some additional looking. I've had a lot of conversations about it. Let me see where we're at in the process and welcome the opportunity to continue to work with you.
Okay, this might be another rail question. As you know, many states approve their own exclusions for highway projects. Is there anything preventing the transportation agencies from doing the same for rail and transit projects? Are you familiar with that?
We've been pushing that on highways, delegation authority. Is that what we're talking about?
Yes.
I would, yeah, maybe, I haven't thought about that. Maybe rail has, but happy to consider that. And again, I think states do things oftentimes better and faster than the DOT. They don't have all the restrictions that we put around them and the money.
As you continue, this is my big ask. I'm going to do a little bragging on Utah because I think we can do some things in this arena. We are rated both number 1 state to live in, the number 1 state to live in, the best run state in the U.S. In 2025, we collaborate between state, local, and federal, like no other state. We finish our projects on time. We do it under budget based on our Constitution. We have an inland port and one of the newest airports, which will make us the hub of the West. We love keeping our kids close. They're hard workers, and they are very language diverse because of the mission culture of our state. My big ask is, as you look at innovation for infrastructure model, please look to Utah. What we can do here and the way we can get it done, the rest of the country can benefit in a big, big way. Test us, and we'll prove ourselves in a big way in that regard.
I had a great meeting with your state DOT. Smart, good. You guys do infrastructure very, very well in Utah. I mentioned Texas is the leader on this delegation authority. I mentioned that to Utah, and they wanted to explore the same opportunities as well. So kudos to your state.
Thank you so much, and now you're back.
As you're aware, we've kept pace with the challenges of competing in a global aerospace market, and I'll associate myself with the comments of my colleague from Kansas, Tracy Mann. This is an area where I am so excited to see the FAA meet the challenge of modernization, or an area where I'm excited about FAA meeting the challenge of modernization is in the promotion and coordination of new and emerging technologies in aviation, like advanced air mobility. I was encouraged by your agreement last month with other aviation authorities from Australia, Canada, New Zealand, and the UK to develop a roadmap for advanced air mobility aircraft type certification. I was further encouraged by your desire to expand this agreement to other countries so that we can ensure that internationally we're all on the same page. The Advanced Air Mobility Coordination and Leadership Act was passed into law to support the integration of new AAM entrants by directing an interagency working group at the DOT to plan and coordinate domestic government efforts. The law, so everyone else knows, the law required this working group to release a report detailing findings from the review and examination that was performed and providing the AAM national strategy, including a plan and associated recommendations. And my understanding is that much of this intergovernmental work has already been completed and could serve as that foundation for an interagency collaboration and that progress that we need to preserve U.S. leadership and innovation. And I'm curious if you could tell the committee here when will the framework be released? When can we anticipate that from the group? And, just looking forward to working together to provide some of that certainty that's going to be necessary.
I appreciate your focus on this issue. Your excitement on the issue is shared by the FAA. We are really excited about this new technology. By the way, I think it's going to change the way people move. It's going to be fascinating. Again, making sure that it's American technology that's deployed around the world as opposed to some countries that are more challenging for us, their technology. And so we're moving as quickly as we can. I kind of call it Goldilocks, right? We can't go too fast. Can't have people get hurt. You can't move too slow or we lose. So we have to get it just right, like the porridge or the bed with Goldilocks. And that's what we're trying to do. But we are moving as quickly as possible. And we have great American innovators in this space, and it's exciting what's going to come.
Thank you. And
The ATC is so important around this as well. So we're going to have more commercial aircraft. We have a lot of general aviation. We're going to have these eVTOLs. We're going to have
Right.
drones in the space. So we need a new system that can accommodate all the new traffic that we're going to have.
yeah, and you touched on the thing I would have brought up if we all had more time today. I appreciate that, and I'll look forward to working with your team on this. I yield back.
Saw Burchett went over, and the further south you go, the slower we talk. So I'm gonna make it fast. Listen, met a young man a while back. He had applied for ATC 3 years ago. Never heard anything. Happy to report that he is starting work. He's probably already started. It's good to know, and I appreciate you hiring people based on their qualifications, not DEI initiatives that have been forced on us for the past administration. As a matter of fact, this guy's so overqualified, his dad is an ATC, and he's retiring soon. Also, certification of new aircraft in the U.S. is terrible. You can get it done quicker in Europe. I encourage you, please, get the private sector involved in that to help speed up the certification process. But that's not what I want to ask you about. When I see the president, I always tell him I am your favorite trucker in Congress, and I need to get in my wheelhouse. In order to, and we can, increase productivity and efficiency in the trucking industry. Number one, I want to just tell you about truck parking. We didn't have that problem a decade ago. The problem is all these nuclear verdicts, these out-of-control lawyers out there that are suing the crap out of everybody, and shippers and consignees will not allow you to stay on their yards. If we could do that when we're loading or unloading, you could take your break right then and you'd have your full set of hours instead of the way we do it now. The other thing is the sleeper berth, the hours of service. Since '05, man, we've been bouncing around everywhere trying to do these hours of service. Comes to find out, I think the best thing, and this is what I want you to comment on, is what we had prior to '05, where you could do 8-2, 7-3, 6-4, 5-5. In that sleeper, it is the most productive and efficient. We've got electronic logging now, you can't cheat on it, and I would love to see if you've got any suggestions or your thoughts or if you've been thinking about it.
We're gonna move forward with the pilot program, offering more flexibility. And again, we got to make sure we're doing things safely. By the way, if you mess with truckers, they have a really great Twitter presence. They'll come after you like you can't believe. They haven't done that with me because, again, we're trying to make things better and safer for them. We had to work on with the theft, the double brokering, there's the parking, there's a lot of issues that are very relevant to the industry. And again, they make this country work.
There are, and I would say that we want to be safe too, because our jobs are not inside some building. They're out there on the highways with your family and my family. Nobody wants to be unsafe. I will leave on a quick good note though. I got my CDLs renewed 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, and the new system where my medical card and everything is automatically uploaded on the computer, it worked fine for me. So it seems like maybe the bugs are getting worked out. With that, Mr. Chairman, yes, sir.
I had my CDL for 30 years, and when I moved to New Jersey, I didn't have a medical card. They made me give it up, and I'd already sat there for 3 hours. So they said, you can come back, and I said, no, thank you, I'll give it up. So I've had mine for a long time, but
Appreciate
I
what you're
lost it.
doing. Keep up the good work. With that, I yield back, Mr. Chairman.